Hello, Home Team Game Dev Lighthouse. I'm Kyle Black. This is your Week 11 update for VAM Empire. Relatively slower week this week with only 11 commits, but substantial commits. We got a good bunch of stuff added, some stuff for the end game, and really putting it all together. And we had four separate contributors, four unique contributors this week. So still a great week overall, even though relatively smaller. But we'll go through it quickly here. In the art and visuals department, Cornell's been doing a little custom cursor test on the side. Don't have anything to demo on that yet, but that's going to be interesting to be able to change out the default cursor. Fahad continues work on his bomb. He was tweaking that a little bit this week. I started a massive boss. You can't tell here on this slide, but we'll get a feel for the scale of this sprite in game when I do a quick demo of that. And I also added some teeny little mining droids for the mining barge that I added last week. In the code department, Nate changed the pirate spawn a little bit so it's not going to drop right on the player and it won't be as jarring. Now it's going to come in from slightly different, more ranged distance when you hit the threshold for mining. And in code, I hit a lot of different things. I cleaned up a lot of the warnings that you probably saw on the debugger that were mostly just things like variables that were set but not used, and signals that are connected but not the return value, or whether it was a successful connection or not was not set to anything. So I did a lot of cleanup on that to try and cut down on how much spam we get, and to start thinking about being able to narrow in on bugs and things like that. We don't want a lot of extra cruff when it comes to all the debug output. I wrote all the code for the mining droids and the ore containers that control them. I smoothed the steering for the AIs, both the AI actor class that is shared for both friendly and enemy AI, so that they don't snap when they turn as much. They kind of make more rounded curved turns when choosing new patrol paths and things like that, and when coming after the player. And you can now complete kill missions. Can either be a generic like kill X pirates or X vampires, or you also can use something called a mission string and set enemies with a mission string and have a mission string on your mission, and as long as those two things match, the mission will get objective points completed, so that you can have very specific targets out in the world or very generic targets out in the world. But that's it for the slides, and we'll jump into the demo. All right, here we are in the game. Just going to do a few quick demos of the new features this week. To start, as you see, the enemies and NPCs flying around. Just look to see as they turn around. Maybe we'll get a couple caught on film here, but you'll see they turn smoother. We'll just go right into doing some mining here, and I have a known bug, so if I want to get some mining going, I can kind of do these sweeps here. If you really want to spawn a whole lot of extra mine nodes, if you want to call them that, mine spawners, and you can get a lot of minerals coming out, which need to work on a fix for this, but it's been great for testing this mining barge out. So I'm using it to my advantage. This known bug, I'm exploiting it to really show off the droids here. You can see them swinging out and picking up minerals and bringing them back. And another bug I have is these drawers are supposed to be opening and closing as they do that, but it only works one time if you caught it early in their first couple of pickups. And the other bug I have is that there is a mining barge in the plane hangar, so to speak, that is also spawning droids if you mine close enough to 0-0 in the world. So two known bugs about this. I have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to fix both of them, but if someone else gets to them first, that would be great too. Remember, let's see here. Just want to get at least one turn around. Oh, you can see I'm in Earn Your Stripes. This is a pirate here, so we'll get the kill, and you see it increments over here. It's all being done with signals. When an actor gets killed, it emits a signal with the variables about the ship that was blown up, and if you have a mission that matches up on that, it will increment over there. I'm just going to jump to a different scene here quick. Here in this scene, you can see already on the mini-map, there's the massive boss sprite. It's not quite in perspective to its real size in game. The sprite's coming across quite a bit larger on the on the mini-map there. Might have to do something special for the boss sprite since they're at such a bigger scale. And I will also be making it so that it turns much slower, because you'd see that was a really quick spin. And I don't know how much in the visuals department I'm going to continue to do on this boss just in the beginning here, because I want to really focus on the mechanics of how we're going to fight this big boss. The thinking I'm having right now is that to blow this boss up, you'll need to blow something up in this core here and get into the sort of the mouth of the ship, and there might be doors or like shields that you need to shoot your way through to open up, you know, a pathway down into the ship here. See, it's aggroed on me, and its only little cannons are out here on the very far tip. But that's the thinking I'm having. But I want to work on the mechanics first before I continue to draw more elements onto this ship, just so that I don't end up having to do rework on any of the art. But that's all for the demo today. Showing those things off, and we'll jump to the Trello. Just 5 weeks left. You can see we got the 2 open weeks at the end with no real tasks laid out, so we'll have time to polish up and fix bugs and things like that in those last 2 weeks. So just start wanting to pick the things that we're going to definitely put in the game at this point, polish up any art, add any last enemies, start working on the final base where we're going to have that boss fight, and we might even skinny things down to where all the missions happen in one big area, and we can just put all the missions around this first zone that we've been calling Easy Zone 1. We can just sort of spread things around in there. We don't necessarily have to progress through the belt in any kind of way. Just with the way the content has been getting added, that might work best that way. And the bug column's really starting to fill up, staying on top of these things. And I'm not immediately going out and tackling these bugs, because they also make a great entry point for anyone that wants to come in here in the last 5 weeks and you know, get their commits in on the project. These bugs here are a great way to track down and learn how some of the systems work and get it into the code base. And I know that was real useful on some of my first home team projects, was just jumping on things that were broken and figuring out first how they were supposed to be working, and then by the time I was done fixing that bug, I felt comfortable with the overall code base. So I'm trying to let them hang out there, even when I might have an idea or a concept of how to start tackling them. So if you do want to grab these, feel free to ping me or someone else in the chat to see if there's like a good starting point for them. I've made little notes about various parts for some of them. This one's just more of an image here that I believe Nate took this picture of the problem in question. And you know, so feel free to jump into these. I think they'd be a great way to get your start on this project, even though we're coming down to the wire, but there's still plenty of time to get a lot of good commits in. So would love to see that. And in the meantime, I'll see y'all in the Discord. Have another great week.